Yoga for People Who Can't Be Bothered to Do It is a 2003 collection of autobiographical essays by the British author Geoff Dyer. Dyer was born in Cheltenham in 1958. After studying English at Oxford, he was unemployed for a while before publishing a novel, The Colour of Memory, based on his post-university experiences. Since then, he's written more novels, plus essays on topics such as photography and jazz, and he's won several literary awards, including the W.H. Smith Award for Yoga for People Who Can't Be Bothered to Do It. In 2005, he became a Fellow of the Royal Society of Literature. He's difficult to categorise. His work is accessible and superficially breezy, yet it's also insightful and well written. Yoga for People Who Can't Be Bothered to Do It may be typical in that regard. The author travels to exotic locations, takes drugs, embarks on relationships, attends raves, worries about the purpose of life. In some ways, his mode of living resembles that of the Beat Generation. But when he comes to write about it, he doesn't overplay his hand, nor is he an exhibitionist or an inverted snob. It's hard to read this book without warming to him. Partly that's because he's funny, but also because he's genuinely eccentric. And also because he's intelligent, he actually says perceptive things that one suspects haven't been said before, at least not in quite the way he's set them down. There's a good example of his humour in the second essay, Miss Cambodia. Nowadays, everyone's familiar with the fact that in places like Cambodia, Western tourists are likely to be accosted by children trying to sell baubles. Obviously, it presents a dilemma. It's not possible to buy everything, but nor do you want to look indifferent. So a token purchase seems unavoidable. Guilty feelings are usually inescapable. Dyer solves the problem by simply buying from what he adjudges to be the most deserving child in the crowd. Unfortunately, he changes his mind mid-transaction, so the girl from whom he was going to buy is gazumped by a boy on crutches. She doesn't take the rejection well. At first she cries, but then she flies into a rage. Not for the first time in my life, Dyer tells us, I had experienced a strange buckling or warping of time. I was actually wishing that I'd bought a Coke from her, but it was already too late to do anything about it, even though there was still time to do so. If there's anything to the idea of karma and reincarnation, then I will be reborn not as the legless boy from whom we bought a can of Coke, but as the snivelling, angry girl from whom we did not buy one. Or maybe I'll be reborn as the can of Coke itself, thumped on the ground, hot and unwanted, primed to explode. He's written fairly extensively on art and photography, and he's very good on the subject of ruined architecture. There's a mysticism in this book too. He's partly in search of the zone, which appears and disappears randomly. There is a narrative thread of sorts. It's partly an account of the author's descent into depression, but he doesn't write about it depressingly, nor is there a hint of self-pity. I've reviewed this book partly because its jocose title makes it sound like a piece of literary fluff, and many discerning readers might pass it by on just those grounds. That would be a mistake. I also think that given that there's a level of public concern at the moment about the amount of reading boys do as compared to girls, we probably need writers to whom young males can relate. Yoga for People Who Can't Be Bothered to Do It may fit the bill. Dyer writes from a consciously male point of view, but there's nothing toxic about his masculinity. Okay, yes, he takes drugs, but he doesn't advocate drug taking as a lifestyle, nor does he make any attempt to glamorise it. He's intelligent and unpretentious, and he doesn't see showing his feelings as a sign of weakness. All I'm saying is, as a role model, you could do a lot worse.